Hey, and welcome to our new podcast called Split Screen, hosted by Caleb and Jake. Program will start shortly. All right, hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new podcast, kind of taking over an old podcast that used to be the Caleb Show. That is pretty much no more, but I'm sure if I wanted to do a solo episode, I could do this on this too. But welcome to Split Screen. I'm Caleb, one of your hosts. Jake, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Jake. I'm the other host.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to be doing this show with Jake. We kind of we chopped it up last weekend, talked about this, and Jake's one of the guys I always have really good conversations with, and our conversation on the past show with him as well was one to remember. I think it was probably my best episode, so I'm very excited to have you doing this with me, Jake.
Well, I appreciate that, dude. And I'm excited to be here with you doing this as well. This is kind of your sort of profession area. So I appreciate you looking to me and being like, "Hey, dude, you want to do this?" And we chopped it up and talked about it. And yeah, I'm excited.
Absolutely. I'm also excited. So basically this show is just going to be a back and forth conversation rather than me interviewing Jake or Jake interviewing me. It's going to be more of a free-flowing, what a podcast should be, where I guess both people are sort of talking about the same topic. And I think today we got a pretty exciting first episode. We're going to be talking about phones. And basically I think my first question to Jake for this episode is, would you ever consider outlawing your phone and just not using it in today's day and age? Would you ever consider that?
Absolutely. I would. I would absolutely.
Is there a specific reason that you have behind this, like a hatred toward the phone, or would you just want to see what it's like?
Not necessarily that. It's just like you said in the last part of what you just said. It's more about just seeing, because our generation has just it's been ingrained. You know what I mean? So it's like when it comes down to that, it's like seeing what it would be like without let's say we did an experiment for 10 years. You know what I mean? Our generation, and we just got rid of the phones, outlawed them, like you said, and see what sort of happened to people. See how they adapted. See how they adapt to communication, stuff like that. So I wouldn't say it's more of a hatred towards the phone, because I enjoy my phone. I enjoy a nightly TikTok scroll or, whatever. But I would say it's more so just to see what it would be like.
Right. I think that's a really, really interesting idea for a show, actually. That just popped into my mind, because you mentioned, if our generation were to do it for 10 years... Imagine 100 people.
Put them in a city or something,
Yeah. Imagine 100 to 1,000, some age range in there of 20 to 35-year-olds, no more phones, or even better, when Gen Alpha all becomes adults in, the next 5-10 years or so. Imagine a show that'd be good reality TV right there. That's $1 million idea.
Throw Jimmy Donaldson in there.
Yeah, dude, that's what he's got to do instead of doing. Amazon, what was it? Beast Games?
Yeah, Mr. Beast Games. Yeah, dude. Did you watch those?
No. I've watched a bunch of video essays on YouTube, autopsies of it, and just how fucked up it is. But
yeah, dude. Eric and I watched it, and it was a tough watch.
Cringe wise, or just people being humiliated wise?
It was cringe and it was humiliation. You know what I'm saying? It was both of them.
Double whammy.
It was the secondhand embarrassment was just. It was a hard watch, dude.
Right. Dude, I remember. I think I watched the qualifying video he posted to YouTube, where it was. I don't know if they had it in the show or not, but I'm pretty sure it was 5 teams. All of them were different colors, and they're pulling the large boulders up. Which first of all, I doubt they could even do that. There's no way 200 people could even pull that boulder up there, but whatever. But dude, the fact that all 200 were crying, and it's just it's kind of traumatic. You have an opportunity to go win $1 million, and then there's cameras just in your face. These guys aren't professionals. They're just Mr. Beast friends filming you. Like, that's definitely humiliating.
Yeah, like Mr. Beast friends filming you, fucking with you, you know, I don't know.
There's been a lot of stuff about like sexual harassment too to a lot of the women that are on the show as well, like the Mr. Beast friends. And yeah, dude, that's a whole nother can of worms. But
yeah, I've heard. I mean, dude, we're just going down the Mr. Beast deep dive, but I've heard like so much stuff about like sexual assault or like, you know, things like that, like coming out about him. But like it was about a month and a half ago, I guess, like maybe 2 months ago. But then it just got wiped. Like I haven't seen it since.
Right, I haven't seen a new video. There's I don't know if you watched his like 3-part series. There was supposed to be another part that sort of wrapped it up and was like his final statement, but I forgot who the guy's name was, but he was a former Mr. Beast employee, and he came out with like 3 amazingly put together video essays, like kind of explaining like the illegal gambling that he like promotes to children, because his audience is like mostly children. You know, like don't donate $5 in the next 5 minutes, and you have a chance to win this Mr. Beast like Prime shirt or whatever, you know. And yeah, it's his next part was about how he hired like someone to his PR team who like had sexually assaulted men and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely like a whirlwind sort of stuff going on that like hasn't like completely crashed, but it's just kind of like, you know, catching shit as it goes.
Right. And when I think about Mr. Beast too, I relate him a lot to YouTube because that's kind of what he did, but you know, I don't know if necessarily what he's brought to YouTube in terms of what it takes to succeed as a channel or become a big channel, like these documentary style large productions as just simple YouTube videos. I feel like that pushes a lot of people away from trying to kind of make it big on there.
100%, because it's like, you know, he had his sort of like his core audience on there, and it's like when Amazon announces Mr. Beast games, it's like half the people who have an Amazon like subscription are like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, who the fuck's Mr. Beast? So it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's a matter of like you said, you know, relating it to YouTube and, you know, his core audience where he sort of started and just kind of like abandoning that sort of thing.
Right. And if I you know, as a YouTube video maker myself, I hope that, I don't know. Like, there's definitely channels out there that I feel like most channels out there stick to their core audience, but you do have people that do make it big and just get sucked into the greed. And we saw it a lot in like, you remember in high school when like Rice Gum and Logan and Jake Paul were first getting big, and they kind of lost their core group. But I will admit the Paul brothers, like, they've definitely found their niche back, though. I will say, like, they're both pretty real now.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Jake Paul's insufferable, but you know, that's just like an opinion I have. So it's like, Logan Paul's, I mean, I don't know. I've never really paid attention to him. So
that's fair. I guess maybe I'm making like a not good claim with that, because I don't watch the Paul brothers personally, but I do feel like they've gained a lot of their aura back that they might.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, they definitely I agree. And comebacks are always a nice thing to see, you know. Right.
It's so hard to online as well. There's still dude, people still like batter on Charlie D'Amelio because she changed her profile pic from like a Black Lives Matter thing like 4 years ago.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, dude, that shit. There's like, and that's the thing though with phones, and like going back to like that point is like, there's so much. Like, I feel like not suffering, because it's like, you know what I mean? But it's like a matter of like these social concepts that are created because of social media and the internet and shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's like people will really sort of think about the way that other people perceive them so much harder because so many other people can see them. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's like without that, I wonder how people would emotionally develop, and like without all of those eyes and like the feeling of, you know, wanting to be seen or like, you know, stuff like that.
I would say they definitely would age and mature quicker, I think.
Oh yeah. And it'd be easier for them to handle or like develop better coping skills and like I don't know, shit like that, because a lot of people fall, I would say, fall victim to the internet. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. I'd argue 95% of like
Yeah.
our generation and I guess Gen Alpha is like, yeah, fall victim and play victim. And I feel like they, I don't know, maybe that's why, like, because we don't see a lot of Gen Z or Gen Alpha people wanting to work, you know? So I think
Right.
part of that might be because they put so much expectation on themselves that they get burnt out a lot quicker. Like expectation to be the most popular in like school or get a lot of likes online. And I remember in middle school, like when my post wouldn't get likes, I would just feel like, I don't know, worthless. But I grew out of that really quick. I think it just was a thing where it's just a thing you have to manually kind of admit to yourself that like, you're not the main character, and like you don't have to post this in the first place. You're running the risk of posting something and it not getting likes and it not performing how you want it to, whether it's to your main social media or like a YouTube video in my case. You're running the risk of disappointing yourself and falling victim into that, or I guess playing victim into that, like, oh, no one likes me, blah, blah, blah. It's just something you have to come to terms with yourself, you know, where it's like, oh, like it really doesn't matter. It's a lot of social media things too is like right place, right time. And, you know,
100%, dude. 100%. It's all algorithm, and it's all, you know, I mean, when it comes, like you said, you know, it's not real. You get what I'm saying? I mean, to an extent, like consequences and like responsibility wise, yes. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But other than that, it's I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, as we go more like into the like future and stuff, it's getting more and more real. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Like, it's becoming more and more integrated and like more important, and like, you know, people are paying more attention than back in like fucking 2010. You know?
For sure.
So,
that was when the internet was really fun.
Dude, that's when shit could fly. You know what I'm saying? That's when,
right.
You know, that's when anything happens. So it's like nowadays it's becoming, you know, people are paying more attention. People are creating careers on apps and shit like that. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, to a certain extent, it is becoming more real. So, I mean, it is becoming more important and more relevant. But I don't know, dude. I feel like that's going to hit a point. It's like an iceberg, you know? It's like, it's going to hit a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll. I feel like in some cases we might already be past that point, especially with, like, we're definitely over the point now. Like, we're on a sinking iceberg with AI, with AI accounts posting like infinite amount of music every single day, streaming it infinite amounts, and then you have AI accounts on Facebook and Instagram posting like 100 times a day. There's accounts on YouTube with AI posting 100 videos a day, racking up millions of views with other AI accounts that are using it. Like, dude, like, I don't know if you've heard of the dead internet theory, but that's also like reaching into social media and stuff like that. Because the theory is there's going to reach, like you were saying, there's going to be a reaching point, like at least with AI, where you can't scroll past, you know, if you wanted to find something posted by a real person, it's going to take a journey to find it. And even then you wouldn't know, like, if it was posted by a real person or not, because it's just going to be buried under millions and quintillions of other posts and things. So
yeah, that would not be very swag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would just get annoying.
That would be awful. Because then I would be like, then it becomes to the point where it's like, yeah, I fucking hate my phone and I don't want my phone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then I would get a flip phone. You know what I'm saying? I would just need to call. I would just call people. That's it.
Right. And that's another interesting topic. It's like, you don't have to get rid of your smartphone. You can also get a flip phone too. I guess relating back to the first question is like, I see a lot of people on TikTok and, you know, there's so many YouTube videos where it's like, I switched to my flip phone for a month, see what changed. And like, I feel like most of the results are pretty positive, but the main point I see at the end of a lot of those videos is it's just like, there's no cure to get off your smartphone and there's no cure, there's no medicine you can take to like make you use it less. You just kind of have to use your phone less and become more disciplined that way. And I feel like for me especially, it's hard for me to get off my phone, man. I really enjoy being on social media, sharing TikToks with my friends and stuff. I feel like I might use it more healthier than others, but still, like, I'm still like using my phone like 7 hours, 8 hours a day. So it's kind of wild.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, with the whole, like, you know, it is fun to like relate on those videos and social media and stuff like that. But I mean, have you ever thought about like switching to a flip phone? Like, I actually like sat there for like at least 10 minutes and thought about it.
Oh, 100%. There's a great video on YouTube. Do you know who Eddie Burback is?
I don't know.
Okay, he's just like he's a experimental like YouTuber. He does like big production videos, you know, like informational stuff. So he had a 40-minute video, and he didn't use a phone at all. So he used like his computer to MapQuest things, but he couldn't send texts. And the one phone he had was a insert to wall phone. And you know, he said he really loved the experience, and but I think using a flip phone would be a lot easier. And dude, he said he got really, really bored, but that way he had to kind of force himself to do other things. And he found a lot more. He found a lot more fulfillment in the month where he didn't have his phone, because he was able to read more books, play more video games, you know, go on walks with his dog more, stuff like that. So I think that's also very interesting.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Because I mean, realistically, man, like doom scrolling in your bed for like hours, or like, you know what I'm saying, like just doing that type of stuff, or worrying about, you know, taking time to worry about how you're perceived on social media, you know, this and that. It's like you could be doing so many other things and like bettering yourself at so many other things. You know what I mean? And that's also the thing that's like, I would say that's the one thing that's like I don't like about my phone. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll catch myself just like chilling, and I'll be like just scrolling on TikTok, like seeing all the brain rot, all that shit. And it's like, holy shit, like, I feel like my brain's melting. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, actually.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, that type of stuff, and like, you know, you just want to put it down for like hours and just do something, you know, go outside, chill, you know, do something.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing, is just like, you know, being attentive to it, you know? Like being aware that it's like, hey, that's my phone, and like I could do this on it for a couple hours, but like I could do something else that's like, you know, just being attentive and staying aware, and like making sure you're not you don't have like 300 pickups in a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 300, dude, I guarantee you I probably had over that in a day. Like, I don't know. There was 1 week throughout this semester. It was a really busy semester for me, so I was doing a lot of homework. So I was on my computer a lot, which like also I feel like melted my brain, because staring at an LED screen all day, like. But I was off my phone, so I felt pretty good about it too. So there's a balance there too, for sure. So it's like, if I get rid of my smartphone, what happens to my computer then? Do I downgrade to a, I don't know, fucking like Dell desktop from 1989? I don't know.
Right. You're on Mac though, right?
Yeah, I am on Mac. So that'd be another big change. It's like,
oh yeah, you can do so much on. I mean, Mac is like the creative goat.
It is, dude. When I do eventually work full time, I'm definitely saving up for like one of those Mac desktops that are really nice.
I mean, Windows is like, yeah, okay. Windows for like business and like, you know, numbers and blah blah blah, you know, that type of shit, good. Mac, not necessarily, but Mac's really, really good for the creative space, 100%.
Right. The only other thing I'd probably want a Windows for is like maybe streaming. I feel like definitely I would want like a strong PC so I can play, you know, computer games with good graphics. Like, Mac sucks at gaming. I'm sorry. Like, Mac is the worst with gaming. I can't stand trying to play like Minecraft or Terraria on my Mac, because first of all, I have a smaller laptop, so it's like I'm hunched over and shit trying to play. And of course I play for like 5 hours. Shout out Jordan Gideon if you're watching this. We play Terraria sometimes, but yeah, dude, terrible for gaming.
No, yeah, I mean, PCs. I mean, I have a PC. I support them 100%. You know what I mean? I'm like, if you want a PC, save up for a PC. But like you said, get a Mac. Like if you're, get a Mac PC. You know what I'm saying? For your creative space, 100%.
Absolutely. That's what I'll be doing. I can't wait to edit videos on iMovie on one of those.
Dude, that would be nuts.
Yeah, for sure.
Nuts. For sure.
But let's see. I think, I'm curious, what's one thing, so let's say you do get rid of your phone. If you were to seriously pursue like no smartphone like detox, how long would you want to do it for like, I don't know, maybe your first attempt at it? And what changes do you think would happen in your life specifically?
Well, so I mean, I think I would want to do it for like an actual meaningful amount of time. Because if I'm doing it, I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like in that, I would probably go like, I don't know, because if I do it for a certain, like, if a long enough time, I probably just wouldn't want it back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that becomes like the dilemma.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, I would go for as long as I possibly could, I'd say. If I like absolutely need it, because I've also like thought about switching to a flip phone because like, I mean, it's just easier. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's like we used to shit on Mr. Taylor in high school for having a flip phone, but it's like, dude, I mean,
dude has to be living life.
Shit.
Dude has to be living life to the fullest, and I think that's also like that's also one
Because
thing you might.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, my bad. I was just gonna say that's also one thing you might look for in, like, let's say you were gonna be like a head coach, like Mr. Taylor was for us, or maybe a college coach, or maybe if you're lucky enough, even like a professional team coach. Maybe they look for you to have like, maybe that's an interview question in person. They're like, show us your screen time. And you pull out a flip phone.
Right.
You pull out a flip phone. And they're like, okay, you're hired. We know.
Yeah. Okay.
we know you got your shit straight. Maybe that should start being like. I think that would help a lot of people get the most efficiency out of their workers. Show us your screen time.
Yeah, if you think about it, man, like he was probably attentive outside of his work. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, my phone's. If they need me, they'll call me. You know what I mean? So it's like, this dude was just ripping iron and chilling. You know what I'm saying? Right.
So ripping iron.
That's what it's all about.
Coaching the easiest, or teaching the easiest class like of all time, and then just coaching in the fall. Yeah, dude, like gym or weight training teachers got it made, because most of the time they're coaches too. So it's like, you're getting extra money for that, and then personal connection to the students as well.
And also, like, even before, like, the weight training dude is fucking teaching biology, but just tossing kids through biology. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, dude, rock on. He was just chilling. He was a chill dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, for sure. And I think, maybe having a flip phone helps with that.
I feel like it definitely alters a sort of, like, sense of, like, I feel like it's just, like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, definitely, like, helps people. It would help people cope better. Less anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, less worrying about other people's thoughts of yourself, and more like, I guess, not worry. You're not even worried about yourself at that point. You're just worried about, I guess, how you maximize the day. I think that's the biggest thing that would change for me, is I would just realize how I, maximize the full potential of what I could do with my 24 hours. Because, when you and I are 85 and 90 years old, like, we're going to be thinking about how much we used our phone, I'm sure. And that's that's like, yeah, dude, that's like unfathomable for us to think about right now, but it'll come sooner or later. So,
oh yeah, dude, sometimes I'll have like mental check-ins with myself. Like I'll be sitting there and I'll just be like, damn, like I'm gonna try to remember this moment 60 years down the road. And I'm gonna think back and I'm gonna be like certain things, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to look back, hopefully, and just be like, damn, like, I remember that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stupid shit like that. But it's like, it'll come sooner than we think. So it's like, just always making sure. That's the thing, though. Like, staying attentive, making sure we're taking mental pictures. Because that's what it's all about. At the end of your life, you're not going to look back and remember the brain rot you saw on TikTok for 2 hours laying in your bed. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember the important stuff.
Right, right. And
So,
it's like it becomes like, do you want to disappoint your future self? Because that is like a different person. It's
right, you
you.
want to
It's
sit there with like a bunch of resentment and like,
yeah. It's like if you thought, here's the thing. Like if you think, let's say you had a encounter with, yourself at 80 years old. Let's say he teleported to you and you saw him, and it becomes a thing where it's like, you in your present moment in your 20s, it's like if you're disappointed in yourself at your 80s, like
right, yeah.
if you keep living like how you're living and with your phone usage and stuff, how many years of life sleep already takes a third of your life? How many years of your life does your phone take? You
No,
know?
100%, dude. You know what I want to know is like, video games keep track of like your playtime or whatever, dude. I want to know collectively how long I've spent screen time wise, like just on my phone. You know what I mean?
Oh
Because
yeah.
it's probably like I don't. It's probably like over 100 days time, dude.
I mean,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I might be over 200, man.
Right?
I've watched so much YouTube.
No, that's fair, bro. And I mean, I don't know. That'd be cool. I mean, it's like a very large topic to talk about, but it's like, I don't know. It'd be cool to like, I mean, one of the questions I had right here was like, what do you think, like, do you think we'd just like replace phones, like reinvent something? Like, what do you think we would do if we just, all of us collectively around the world, all 8 billion of us, let's say, just like threw all of our phones away?
I think if we threw all of our phones away, I think it would return to how it was, like back in the 80s and 90s, like honestly,
Yeah.
because we would all
Yeah.
get landline phones again, I'm sure, to replace that, or maybe flip
Yeah.
phones.
Okay.
But I
Do you think
think
we'd just replace them? Yeah.
I think we would replace them with flip phones for sure, because I think there's just some form of communication that needs to be had, especially with, I think parents nowadays are very, very keen on, knowing where their children are. And,
Yeah.
I'm bringing up Life 360. They want to know where their children are, what they're doing. They don't, because I think a part of why, sorry to branch off, but I think a part of why parents are so like protective now is because news covers the worst of the worst. They never show like good stories. And
Yeah.
all you see on the news is like, oh, how a child got kidnapped, how a child got hit by a
Yeah.
car, how, how many school shootings there have been, which are all terrible things, and prayers out to all those people who were affected by
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah. Absolutely.
just when that's all you see, and as a first time parent or as a digital native parent who's seen news their whole lives, I mean, of course they're going to want to see where their children are and want to communicate with them. So I do think there would be a replacement of smartphones with flip phones, but also I think that sort of I think that access to the news would ease up because we don't have our smartphones. You got to sit down and watch it on channel 8. So
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I think it'd go back to how life might have been in the 80s and 90s, or even early 2000s, which like solid life. I always imagine.
Not terrible, dude. The graphics were better in the 2000s.
Dude,
You know
on
what I'm
God.
saying?
On God.
But it's like, yeah, I totally agree. I think that we would replace it too. And like you said with the parent thing, nowadays it's just, I feel like there's a lot more fucked up shit that goes on. You know what I mean? Than
Yeah.
back in the days. So like, I mean, not saying that fucked up shit didn't go on back when. You know what I'm saying? But people weren't as far up each other's asses, and shit wasn't.
Right. And I think also like you see, I mentioned like, there's a lot more fucked up shit because I guess children and kids under 18 are doing a lot more fucked up shit, and it might social media and like resentment
It's become
and
normalized.
neglect
Yeah.
might be to blame for that. So maybe we'd see, after 10 years down the line of using flip phones, a drop in, crime rate from, younger kids and, teenagers. So, maybe that would be a thing that plays into it as well.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You know, stuff, especially kids getting phones so young. I mean, shit, I got a phone in like 6th grade, so I can't really, say anything. But I wasn't, stuff wasn't normalized on the internet like it was. I mean, it was worse, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like, because nowadays it's just brain melt, and like it's actual, like nobody's doing anything that's like already been done. You get what I'm saying?
Right. It's like actual people like making AI slop.
Yeah, it's like you know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, it's oversaturated. It's shit just becomes, nowadays shit just becomes normalized on social media. It's just like one big hive mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like I said earlier, you know, a lot of anxieties would be toned down. You know, people would chill out. I feel like people would be able to handle actual, in real life situations a lot better. You know what I mean?
Right. There are definitely people would be tougher too. You know, there's so many people like. There's always the phrase "hiding behind the screen" has been thrown around.
Right.
Like,
oh yeah, dude.
Since I've been in middle school, you got kids talking shit behind the screen, and then
Like,
you see
them.
You see them maybe 10 minutes later outside of the class or like in your neighborhood, and like they're quiet as a church mouse. You know,
Exactly.
don't
It's
even
like,
don't even bat an eye to you. Like, it's more real to them on social media than it is when they're a foot away from you.
exactly.
And
bro.
I think that like
away with
you're
that shit.
saying, I think that would be much better, because if you can learn to handle that in real life and not behind the phone, you know,
Yeah, the coping, like people would be able to handle talking. Like you could have, like, instead of like, you know, people don't have to fucking pull out a gun and shoot you down. You know, if you're having an altercation or a problem, or like they don't have to call the police. You know what I mean? Like people will have an issue with someone and just immediately call the fucking police. It's like, dude,
yeah, that's crazy.
have an adult conversation. You know, can we not? You know, I don't know. I feel like people would have a lot. People would, you know, take. There's also an urgency, you know, that comes with it. Like phones and stuff, because we have access to everything. You know what I mean? Right now, so it's like people would chill out. I feel like too. You know, things wouldn't be so urgent. We wouldn't feel so rushed, and that's where anxiety comes from. The anxiousness. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it would slow people down a lot too. Slow the world down.
Right.
But then again, I mean, in this day and age, shit's moving so fast. You know, there's so many people on the planet, so much shit's happening at one time, that it's like, yeah, we kind of sort of need the technology and stuff that we need, but it would be cool to see what happened in like this day and age without it. 100%.
Right.
Insane.
I agree. Are there any things, like, what do you think would be impacted the most, like in your life? Let's say you switch to a flip phone for as long as you can do it, like with all that extra time that you're bound to have. What do you think would be some things you pick up or things you do more of?
Well, everybody's got that, you know, list they throw in their life junk drawer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or they're like, oh, I would really want to try that, but there's no way in hell. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's funny.
You know what I mean? It's like just that random. Like, I would really like to learn the drums. You know what I mean? Or like, some sort of like really like the piano too.
I was just
like
gonna say I would love to learn the piano. Piano is beautiful.
Like I would love to learn some sort of cool ass musical instrument for sure. Even the saxophone, dude. Like, you know that one meme where it's like, "Oh, I got a brand new saxophone."
I think I know what you're talking about.
Dude, that shit is hilarious, and it brought up like this. I remembered, because like, dude, I don't know. I'd be like, that'd be cool to learn the fucking saxophone. You know, just shit like that. You know,
cool party trick.
It's just something. But I feel like that would change. I would try and pick up more things. That's the main point I was trying to make there. Pick up things that are sort of like a little bit out of the ordinary for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'd have way more time. I mean, not that I'm on my phone 24 hours a day, but you know, it'd motivate me to do something else.
Exactly, and that, you know, people hate being bored, but the boredom is actually like ironically good, because that's, you know, like you were just saying, like it makes you do something.
100%. You're stirring, you know, so you're thinking about like, oh, what can I do? And then you do something. And then you eventually just fucking do something.
Right. And, life's great because you can never run out of things to do, but also you can never run out of things to do on your phone, too. So that's the trap.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, 100%. The phone is a dangerous weapon. 100%.
It is. It is. Let's see.
So how do you think, I got a question for you real quick.
Let's do it.
So what do you think would, like, in our day, like our generation and stuff like that? So what do you think is more important when it comes to like phones and stuff? Like the convenience or the connections? Like, you get what I mean with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think back when phones were what they were used for, which was to communicate, I think connections were definitely like the key to it. You could be connected to, you call your grandma. I'm going to drop the kids off. I'm going to work, and I remember vividly like my mom's flip phone. And she would call my grandma if she had to leave for work too early, and my grandma would come get me, drive me to school. Yeah. And that's convenient. But also I do think I remember like the connection being the most important part back when phones were like, before smartphones. But then it became quickly like, I remember when I first got my first iPod Touch, that the connections like I could keep with you, example, like we went to the same damn elementary school, so I remember texting back and forth with you and sending vines to each other and stuff like that. Like that was before life really began and we could still be connected. So for me, I think until around 20, I guess until I was in college, like it was more connection based, and then now I sort of feel like smartphones are definitely lean more towards conveniency, just because like I don't really need my smartphone anymore. I can drive wherever I need to go. I can get a flip phone if I want to just talk to the people I want to talk to, and I have interests that don't involve my phone that I can do if I want. I can do everything that I already do now on my computer. I like to take photos. I got video games I can play. I enjoy playing basketball. I got all these things I can do that I don't need my phone for.
Yeah, 100%.
And yet my phone still takes the most of my time, and it's just because it's convenient and it's right there. It's like a nice little hit of
dopamine, man.
Dopamine, So I didn't know if dopamine was the right word, but yeah, dude, it's just like that nice little hit of dopamine. So it's, definitely more convenient nowadays, and connection doesn't necessarily matter as much. And that like whimsical feel I had on my iPod Touch, I know I will never get back again. And the kids,
oh hell no,
the kids with phones now that are in fourth, fifth, sixth grade definitely don't get that now either. Because like you were saying, like people don't know how to communicate with each other. Like how did fourth grade me know how to communicate better with kids that are teenagers right now?
It's insane. I mean, also it's like, dude, I don't know, like. The kids nowadays are just so like it's like so forward, everything like I said, there's such an urgency. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nowadays it's just all about urgency. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, everything's urgent. Everything needs to happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I feel anyway.
Right. And life is people say life is short, but it's honestly, it's pretty long, and childhood is like a long thing that shouldn't be rushed,
Oh, yeah, dude, you shouldn't. I mean, shit. How many things I wish I could have fucking unsaw when I was fucking growing up, dude?
Yeah.
Like, meme-wise, internet-wise. I mean, it's worse nowadays. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's worse than what it was back when we were. Because, I mean, yeah, shit flew on the internet when we were kids, but it was like, it wasn't everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It was like a certain niche place that people were talking about that.
Right.
Or like,
do you remember iFunny?
Yeah, iFunny, dude, ass. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I miss when memes were made by millennials and they had like the bold text, and it was like my face when the Pistons win or some shit. It's so stupid, but
simple
but good. Simple, and they were fun to make too. I remember Connor and Dunham and I would make them on the bus ride home, and
oh yeah, dude, if you didn't make a meme, man.
Dude, like I'm saying, dude, that's the connection I'm talking about, and that's just what you don't get now. It's like
if you didn't make a meme with your homies, yeah, on the bus specifically is actually insane.
Yeah.
That you said that, because I feel like we've all shared that, like we've all lived that experience. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's a shame so many parents won't let their kids take the bus now.
Oh, dude. Like, I always, like, dude, I'm not planning on having kids or anything, but if it happens one day, they're taking the fucking bus. You know what I'm saying? They're having the bus experience, bro, because I had a fucking banging time on the bus, dude. I loved the bus.
Dude, bus was highlight of the morning, highlight of the afternoon.
Highlight of the morning, yeah. Dude, I'm like, I cannot wait to get on the bus. This shit is about to be really fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
dude.
it also depends on the bus. If you had a shitty bus, dude, that's just...
Right. You got to have friends. I was very fortunate to live in a neighborhood that was not only the last stop, but I also had Connor and Dunham as my neighbors, so that was pretty hype.
Dude, yeah, and some people, like, and sometimes you ride home, like, on a different bus with one of your homies or something, and the bus would, like, be, like, dead quiet, dude, and I'd be like, what the fuck?
Dude, I know. It was always so, dude, like, completely different worlds.
So completely, dude. It's nuts.
Yeah, dude. Like, I just imagine every bus full of students in the United States. Like, they're all their own unique worlds with unique personalities that branch out to different home lives and shit. You know, it's just crazy how many lives there are and how many experiences there are that, like, we won't get to necessarily experience or see or hear about. But yeah, it's crazy. And the phone was supposed to be that worldwide connector, but now it's just
it is totally. It is. I agree. It's totally for convenience nowadays. Like, I mean, you know, shoot a text. You know what I mean?
Was there
back in the day? I was playing cut the rope.
Oh, dude, cut the rope, dude. We could talk about the games for so long, dude.
Oh, so long, bro. I was playing Jetpack Joyride, cut the rope.
Where's my water?
Yup. Dude, yes, that was so gas.
Dude, Angry Birds.
Angry Birds hard. I play that to this day, bro. To this day.
You know what? That's probably valid. Dude, completing like a whole Angry Birds game on a plane ride just sounds like whimsical.
Yeah, dude. It's fun because then you'll be like, if you're bored or something, you really don't have shit to do, and you're really just either you stare at a wall or you play some Angry Birds. I'm playing some Angry Birds.
Yeah, you know facts. I feel like the phone was also, like, back in the day for me, phone was my gaming device, dude. When I got bored of the Wii, when I stopped playing the Wii so much, dude, my iPod Touch, like, its battery got so bad, it got down to the point where it would take, like, 20 minutes to go from 100 to dead, because I would play so many games on it.
Yeah, and I feel like that's, you know, the sort of thing with the whole connection, and, like, you know, because you'd be, you know, you and your friends with the iPods, you pull up, you know, hang out and stuff, and you'd be playing those games together, like, you know, co-op shit. But nowadays it's just, you know, hey, you want to hang out? Sure. Okay. And then, you know, it's, or like, hey, what's you doing? Like, you know, stuff like that. So it's like, you know, definitely convenience once you, like, hit a certain point in life.
Yeah. Was there a turning point for you where it went from communication to, you know, more convenience?
Yeah, I'd say probably COVID. Like COVID for me. I was I don't know. I mean, I was on my phone a lot in COVID, I would say. So I would say that it went from like I actually, you know what, right after COVID, because, you know, I was on my phone a lot in COVID and stuff like that, and, you know, playing video games or whatever. But I was also like, I probably played video games a lot more because I was playing with, like, Carter and like Nick Hamilton and just a bunch of people, and we just, you know, grind. So I would say probably right after COVID, once we, like, everybody got to start seeing each other and, like, stuff like that, I tried to make it, like, a point to try and see people, you know, more, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's when I would say it went from, like, to convenience, for sure, ski.
Right, I agree. I think, yeah, I also considered saying COVID was, like, the turning point, but I just remember, like, I mean, my smartphone, I feel like I did, like, a decent amount, like, just using my phone for, like, communication, or, like, you know, I'd post those polls every single day. So it was like, I felt like I was communicating and getting a new perspective on things, because people would message me about those polls and they'd be like, oh, like, I choose this because this. They didn't have to give me the reason, but they would. Right. And I know you probably responded to some of those and, like, given me.
I love those polls. Everybody loves those polls.
Yeah, dude, I got to post one for today. I missed yesterday, but
those are good polls. I'm not on Instagram anymore, actually, but yeah. Dude.
Oh, shoot.
I'll have Erica vote for me.
Okay, bet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she votes on all of them, so that's kind of clutch. But yeah, man, I think in terms of like, I think I would love to do a detox. I would love to try a detox. I'd probably try it for like 2 weeks, see how it goes. But also, I'm just very active on like social media and stuff. So
yeah,
like,
I mean, you kind of but like that's also like, part of what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to market, baby. So it's like, when it comes down to that, it's like it's vital. You know what I'm saying? So, sort of vital, I guess you could say.
Right.
But to an extent, nowadays, yeah. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, have you ever actually tried to like delete your social media and totally try and just like kind of like use your phone for what it was sort of made for? You get what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's a good question. I've deleted TikTok. I maybe deleted it for a little bit, but I don't know. It's also another thing for me. Like I just mentioned, like I'm active on social media and like, right. I think I got it back because I wanted to start sharing like my over the line podcast videos of like Connor and Dunham and I talking ball and shit. So
yeah.
And also it's just another thing where it's like TikTok is literally the most convenient and easy way to like get yourself noticed. Like as a aspiring artist myself, like I want to share my photography and videography and stuff, and Instagram's just not the easiest place to do that. And TikTok, like I feel like generally I get pretty good responses there, so I downloaded it back to get that. But TikTok, I don't really be scrolling on it much anymore, which is nice. I'm mainly focused on just posting. So how about
Fair
you?
Enough. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I'm sort of like when I was posting like all my paintings and stuff like that, I was super like integrated in it, and I was like, I kind of after a little while, I kind of took a step back, and I was like, blah, I don't really feel like doing this anymore. So I kind of was just like, let's see how it would feel if I undownloaded Instagram and downloaded. I mean, honestly, I went clean for like probably like a month or two without any like scrolling apps. I just had Snapchat. But I got TikTok, and now I can't fucking get off of TikTok, bro. I love me some TikTok. You know what I'm saying?
It is nice though. There's something very comforting about, just having nothing else to do. Maybe like you said, like before bed. I feel like that hit of dopamine's a nice reward after like a long day. Like
yeah, dude.
it's like people who I know there's people who only smoke before bed. It's like that.
Right.
Use it in moderation, use it smart.
It is kind of like a vice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
so you got those. I mean, like it is because you got those Discord mods, or whoever the fuck that just sit there all day long,
on scrolling on Reddit and rage baiting and running their Discords.
Doing whatever the hell. So, using it in moderation, like you said, it's important. Anything in moderation is important.
Right. Exactly.
If you're going to do it, try and control it at least.
Yeah. I feel like that's a big thing for me. The only thing I really scroll on TikTok now is like my DMs and stuff will get so full with like my friends' DMs will get so full with videos they've sent me. Like Jordan, I'm the worst offender to this with him, but dude, there'll be like, I'm pretty sure there was one time I had to watch like 36 videos he'd sent me. So that was like his own personal For You page that he made for me. And it was just
that's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, that's really all the scrolling I kind of do on there. Cause I start scrolling now and I'm just, I'll see something. Sometimes I'll watch TikToks on like my art account cause I have 2 different accounts and I'll get like inspired by stuff I see on there.
Dude, that's cool shit. Yeah, that's cool shit too. Having an account where you curate it to sort of an interest or a hobby that you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. My like main like profile account is kind of all over the place. Like it's a lot of NBA stuff, so that's cool, I guess. But there's some times where I want to scroll on TikTok and just see like the most outlandish brain rot shit, and I'll try to curate it to that. And by the time I get it there, it's like okay, I've already spent 20 bucks or 20 bucks, 20 minutes, 20 minutes doing this.
Imagine. You think it's gonna come to some shit like, dude? Do you think it's gonna come to like implanting chips in our heads and shit, and we can just be like open
Oh God.
or some shit like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, Black Mirror, I think
I love that.
is a really good show that shows sort of what kind of dystopian technology we might get in the future. And there was one episode that scared the shit out of me where it was like, it didn't scare me, but it was just like, damn, like who would actually do this to their kid? It was like the Angel something, like this mom like implanted a chip in her child's head so she could like see through her eyes like what she's doing and like watch over her. And that episode was just wild because it's like, you should watch it. I think Archangel, yes, that's what it was.
Oh yeah, it says brain implants are a recurring theme, often exploring potential dangers and ethical concerns.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
That episode was
tracks our location, current vision, and hearing, and automatically censors distressing material. That is crazy sauce. I haven't seen that episode.
Dude, you should watch it. there's a scene on like there. So keep in mind, this girl's like 6 years old when she gets the chip, and she comes back to school the next day, and this kid tries to show her like a video of someone getting hurt, and like the video was like censored for her. It was insane. Like. It's such a creative show, but it's so scary.
Yeah, dude, that's a whole other can of worms, man, the implants and shit. That would be insane. Would you do it? Or no?
No.
No, you wouldn't do it?
We're already kind of seeing like what it would be like with like Apple and Google's like goggles.
Oh yeah. Yep, the Vision Pros, dude.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. That's way too far ahead for me. I like seeing what I can. Headache. I like seeing what I can see, and also it's just like, what are the side effects of getting a chip inserted into your goddamn head? Like,
not for real, bro. That you'd have to go through like 20 million jillion dillion rounds of testing before I'd even consider it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And who's to say, like, something malfunctions? Like, if the chip malfunctions, like, what happens to your brain?
Your brain explode?
Yeah. Does your brain explode?
You're just sitting in the DMV and your fucking head explodes? Like, no, dude, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we're closer to seeing it, though. I bet we'll probably see someone be the test subject in, like, I don't know. We'll probably see the first person with the chip in their head in, like, 5 years or so.
Yeah, dude, we'll see.
And then...
No, actually, I think let me look it up. Chip implant. I'm pretty sure some dude already got one.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, let me look.
Hopefully they gave him some money for it. What's the most money you would have to get paid to...
Neuralink's 2024 February 1st. Neuralink brain chip's first human patient. See, that's Elon's thing, Neuralink.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude. I don't know.
How's the guy doing? Is he chilling?
First patient. Okay. Nolan Arbaugh.
Sounds like the main character in like a book or a show about this. Living through straight science fiction right now.
It allows him to control the computer with his thoughts.
What the fuck? I feel like that'd be so difficult.
1 year later, there's a video of him. He seems to be cooling.
Well, that's good.
He had a fishing or a swimming accident or something, but yeah, now he seems to be chilling. He seems to be chilling now.
All right.
I don't know, but yeah, dude, that stuff is wild to me. I don't know.
Yeah, how much? I guess this will be our closing question. We gotta, unless you had any other ones, but. I'm curious, what would it take for you to... How much money would it take for you to get one of those chips in your head?
You know, this is like one of my favorite things to ask people. How much money would it take you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What number am I? Like, this is like the 100-man versus gorilla challenge. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What number am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are we talking number? Like, am I in like the first round of testing? Am I...
Let's say they're like negotiating with the entire world and like they're bidding, but they're bidding like for someone to test, and let's say you're like,
so I'm patient 0.
yeah, let's say they came to you first. They drew your name out of an 8 billion name raffle, and
damn. I might feel like it's fate at that point. So I would be like, cool, 100 mil. 100 million.
All right, and they're like, bet, because they could give that to you too.
And yeah, I mean, I would just make sure that everybody's set. If I fucking kick the bucket during this thing, and yeah, probably like 100 mil. How about you though? What are you thinking?
You
said you wouldn't do it. You're flat. No thought. You just said no.
I did say no, and I'll probably stick with it, because at the end of the day, like,
Okay.
I don't know what like the Neuralink would even benefit me with, and who knows? Like they said, like we said before, like what side effects it could come with. Like I'll stick with my answer of no, because I just don't. Yeah,
Don't see the upside. If that's fair.
I don't see the upside, and who's to say there's not anything attached to that money as well? Like,
right. Fair enough.
Like you get the money, but after we do 5 years of research on you with the Neuralink, and it's like, okay, fuck you.
Yeah, that's facts. It could be like, yeah, you got cancer or something like that. You know what I mean?
It's like, come on, man.
It's like, all right. So, I don't know. I mean, I would do it for the 100 mil, because right after that, I just go on vacay, and if I die on vacay, I'm dead on vacay, and then it's like a whole White Lotus sort of thing, and
right. You could 100 mil is enough to buy a house and chill
out. And if I die, I die. Everybody's set. Whatever, it is what it is.
Right. One sacrifice that's worthy for the rest of the.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe the Neuralink would be cool too. You never know.
Yeah, dude. They might get updates. I might get updates sent straight to my head. Yeah.
I think this might have been another what show were we just talking about? Black Mirror episode where it was. No, I think this chip's actually trying. No, this was in a fiction story I read for class. Sorry, the chip in the fiction story was. It was like a chip that goes in your head where you can retrieve any bit of information that you want. Mm-hmm. So you're basically all-knowing. And like the thing that happens at the end is like the main character gets the chip, and it's like after he learns everything, there's nothing else to learn, and he gets like depressed and like it was a crazy like
that is cool.
It was a cool story, cool premise.
Hell yeah, that's dope. The thing is, though, I'd probably get that chip too, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
But I could totally see, like, I feel like that's like the only ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. And another big thing in the story was like the government or like a lot of jobs were requiring people to get the chip. Because if you want someone with the chip that knows how to do everything. Instead of someone who doesn't have it. So, that's another interesting implication. That could easily be a movie.
CIA's rubbing their hands.
Dude, facts. It's going to get crazy. Within the next, 20 years, our lives are going to be so changed. It's not even funny.
100%. I don't know, dude. I'm excited to see it, but I'm also a little scared.
Yeah, I'm a little on edge, I'd say. But,
yes.
Science fiction is becoming real day by day.
Yeah, we'll enjoy it as much as we can.
Exactly.
But I did have one last question for you. If you had to design sort of like a phoneless society, what do you think it would look like if you designed it? You know what I mean?
Man, so this is not even flip phones.
Phoneless society.
Well, if I had to design a phoneless society, if I was called upon to do this, I think, because all communication outside of, your household is pretty much cut off. And I would design communication by mail to be a very important thing, because that's really the only thing you can communicate with. Yeah. And a phoneless society, man. That's a loaded question. I'm trying to think right now. I'm trying to big
No,
brain
yeah,
it. I mean, it would. I think a lot more focus would be put on like letter mail.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. Like, I feel like they would have to figure out like an insanely efficient mail system.
Also, insanely efficient like email system, because our computer's still a thing in this.
Yeah, it's just phoneless.
Okay, fair. So yeah, there'd be a lot more stress on email. I think in society, everyone would have to be email educated. And also, it would just have to be a lot more efficient because there'd be so many more spam emails coming your way if that was the only way. Instead of spam calls, it's going to be spam emails. So people have to be educated on how to fish through those. But in terms of, like, I guess, minus the communication aspects, because everyone knows it would go to letter or email, I think like I've been saying before, I think a truly phoneless society, it would go back to how it was in like the 60s. You'd get your news, you'd get your updates on like weather and stuff. You'd be planning your day by watching the morning news back, probably how my grandma and grandpa used to do it with their kids. So,
yeah,
I think there'd be a lot more emphasis on more efficient news, a lot more emphasis
radios,
on email and, stuff like that. So, without phones too, I think it places a lot more emphasis on the need for photographers and videographers too, so a lot more jobs would open up that way.
100%. Yeah.
Do you have anything?
A lot of job fields would change.
Exactly. And I'm curious if you have anything to add to that I might have forgot, if you thought of something.
Well, I mean, off rip, it's just, I'm thinking like insane mail system. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I feel like radios would make a huge comeback too. Like, those big box radios that used to, I mean, we still have TVs and shit like that, but like, those like big box radios people used to have back in the day.
Yeah,
like not back in the day, but like way back. You know what I mean? Like those. Yeah, I feel like those would be a lot bigger of a thing. Like, just, and I feel like, I don't know, because with the world today, there's a lot of people like in a lot of places. You know what I mean? So it's like, it would be, I don't know, I feel like flight systems, they would have to figure out a lot of, like, America would definitely have to revamp like the railway system and public transportation and things like that, because I mean, without that, it's like you can't have a main railway. Wait, I'm trying to remember where the fuck I'm going with this.
Like, is it because people use their phones to just tap and pay?
Right, like Uber, like shit like that. It wouldn't be like, tap to pay, or they would have to figure out a certain way. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like there would be a lot different. There would need to be like a main, like, how Japan has like a main railway system. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like their public transportation's cracked. So it's like, I feel like it would be a lot easier and a lot like better for people to converse and communicate and like connect on public railways or like things like that. So I don't know. I feel like that would be an important thing to implement as well.
Yeah, I think you brought up a good thing with flights too. Like, everything would have to be print. I mean, imagine movie tickets as well. Like, more jobs would open up for people stabbing tickets and whatnot. Like, everything would go back to how it was like 30, 40 years ago. It definitely would take time for that to happen as well. Like, we might have a shitty couple of years until.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, very shitty couple of years.
There was one thing I wanted to mention too. I don't know if you remember, but like back like maybe 10 years ago or so, or maybe it was further away, but there was a very, very large sun flare that almost hit Earth, and it would have like completely knocked out like most of the technology we used. So, like, luckily Earth was just on the other side of the sun when it happened. But if it would have happened like 6 months later or earlier, like, it would have hit us and we would have entered like a fictional dystopian like blackout, and I don't know how long that would have taken to get back.
Dude, that would have been crazy. That would have been I don't know, that could have been apocalyptic.
Yeah. For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? Like if all of that shit went out and they couldn't, I mean, I don't know if, because we don't know if it would go right back on, type shit.
Right. I mean,
But
based
we
on the
don't know.
video, I remember just saying like a blackout would have occurred for a very long time. Like it would have ruined like
Oh my god.
so much of our technology. Like we might have been sticks and stones like after that. Like wild.
Dude. Yeah, that would have went definitely apocalyptic. 100%. 100%. But like, yeah, I mean, phones, but that's also the thing. Like, I feel like phones aren't necessarily, if we like really think about it, like they're not that important. Like, if we still have like TVs, if we still have computers, if we still have, stuff like that, I feel like
Still got MapQuest.
right, right. We wouldn't. I don't know. We wouldn't necessarily have that big of an issue, but getting rid of all of it, yeah, definitely apocalyptic. That's just ABC. I feel like.
For sure. For sure. Well, I think if you don't have any other questions, I think we're in a good spot to sort of wrap up our first episode.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm good. I feel like that was a solid combo.
That was a very solid combo, I would say. Great start to the show, I think.
I agree.
I hope you listeners are satisfied with that conversation. We kind of branched off quite a bit, but that's the name of that's the game of the show, and I think
That's what it is.
other than that, I guess my final message is like if you were gonna try to get off your phone more, maybe don't detox right away, but just really attempt on using it less,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, definitely. Just
I
mean, maybe stare at that wall for the 30 minutes that you're waiting for your appointment or something.
Oh yeah, or the fish tank.
Or the fish tank, or just take mental pictures, take in the moments where you're chilling.
Exactly. Or just bring a camera too. Like an actual
that.
camera.
Could do that.
Yeah. But I think that's going to be it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys hopefully next week on our next episode of Split Screen.
Yes.
Peace.